Thank you for joining for the training session on guest profile matching and merging. To start off, you do need to make sure that you have, as a user, the access for the permission to do guest profile matching and merging. This can be found under the System Configuration menu and under Clerks. Once accessing the Clerk module, depending on the user that you're selecting, you do want to go to the Permissions tab. And you will see that on the left-hand side, we do have a subheader for operations. Within that subheader, there will be one permission that's called 1522 Guest Profile Merging. If you do not see this permission available on the left-hand side, that means that this permission has not yet been granted and will be located on the right-hand side under the Operations menu. You will expand this, select the permission, and select Give. And that will transfer permission 1522, guest profile merging, over to the left-hand side. Once this permission has been granted, you will access the operations header down to guest profile. You can also select F7 on your keyboard as a shortcut key. And you'll see at the top of the screen, the button here for merge profiles will be made available. When you click on merge profiles, you'll see that the web browser for the Merge Profiles option will be made available and will open up a brand new screen for you. The login name and the password will not need to be entered, as it will be based off the actual login that you're currently logged into for the RoomKeyPMS desktop version. If you're a chain property, you will see that on the left-hand side, you will have a drop-down depending on the property that you're looking at if the user has access to more than one hotel. The list of hotels here will be a list of 10 properties. If you are a chain that has more than 10, you can go ahead to select View All at the bottom of the screen. And from here, you'll be able to flip through the next page to locate your property. If you also know the specific name of your property, when you look at the top right-hand side, you will see the magnifying glass for the search option. Click on Search and type in the name of the property. You can also select that from the list and select Choose on the bottom left-hand side. Once you select that option, the property name will be listed on the left-hand side from the drop-down to identify which hotel you're located in. You'll also see that we have these 9 squares at the top of the screen that allows you to look at each RoomKeyPMS module. Dropping down, you'll have access to a few options here, such as housekeeping or the guest merge. Now, once we're in the guest merge here, you're going to see that we do have some menu options available on the left-hand side, which is your duplicates, which RoomKey will then suggest profile matching and give you the option to merge those profiles together. We also do have the activity log and some help options and support and some information on product updates on the left-hand side. Now, on the top of the main screen, you're going to see that we have some filters here. So the main filters that we have by default is looking at arrivals for today and showing exact matches only. The filters can be changed by selecting the drop-down arrows to arrivals, canceled reservations, checked out, departures, in-house, or reservations made. Some options on when you might use these options are arrivals if you're doing this on a daily basis, such as your night audit or first thing in the morning. You might be looking at all arrivals for that specific day for any duplicate profiles that you have in the system for arriving guests. If you're doing this on more of a regular basis, maybe once a month or once every 2 weeks, you may use an option here for reservations made. So if you last performed this the previous month, you might start from the last date that you performed the guest profile merge to today's current date to find out any new reservations that were created. You may also go ahead and choose any other filters. In addition, the next drop-down that we have is you can search for arrivals for today. You can look at the next 7 days, next 30 days, or you can also do a custom date range as well, which will allow you to enter in a particular date range by selecting the calendar view and selecting the particular date for your date to and from. We're going to leave this set for arrivals for today. And we also have this option here for show exact matches only, allow up to 1 misspelling, or allow up to 2 misspellings. We're going to start with show exact matches only. Now from this screen, we're looking at arrivals based on today, for October the 25th. And this is going to show you any arrivals that we have starting from today's date. So the first guest that we can see here is Eric DuPont. We have the upcoming stay from October 25th to the 27th. For chain properties, you will also see the name of the hotel that the guest has the reservation for, as guest profiles can be shared amongst across the chain. You will see that the first profile that you see is actually for the reservation that's based on the filters that we see on the top of the screen here. So arrivals for today is going to show the guest arriving from October 25th and any possible duplicates for any reservations that we have upcoming into the future. Now, when we have the filter set for show exact matches only, this is based on a few fields that are spelling that match exactly. So Eric DuPont, first and last name, as well as RoomKey will also suggest any matches based on a matching telephone number, a matching email address, and a matching mailing address. As you can see right from this screen, we do have the option here to merge. In brackets, we do have the number of profiles that we would be merging together. And we also have the option to view detail. Now, from this main screen here, you're going to see that we have some options here that are currently displayed in the darker black color and some in a grayed out color. And basically what RoomKey will identify is if any phone numbers, email addresses, or mailing addresses do match, any duplicates will automatically be removed. Now, you do have the option to hover over and select the gray plus symbol to add those back into the system. You can also hover over and delete a certain value as well. Now, RoomKey will gray out this automatically so you don't have any duplicate information on the guest profile. So telephone numbers in this example here, the additional 2 will be removed. But email address, however, will take the first email, maybe the business address, email address, and the personal email and keep both on file. In addition, mailing addresses for home or business mailing addresses may also have the 2 on file that you have. Now, you're also going to identify that if you have more information on file for multiple profiles, the maximum fields that RoomKey will store on a single guest profile will be 6 telephone numbers, 2 different email addresses, and 2 different mailing addresses. If you have more options to add to a profile, RoomKey will only take a maximum of 6 phone numbers, 2 emails, and 2 mailing addresses. You will need to identify which ones you want to keep on file. Again, you have the option to merge directly from this screen, or you can also select View Detail to take a look a little bit further into what information is going to be merged together. Now, when you're looking at more than 2 profiles, you do have options here to tick off which profiles you want to apply for the merge. And this will show you the first name, last name, email address, phone number. You're also going to see that we have 2 fields here for VIP status or a status of do not rent. Now, the rule is if you have any profile that has a yes for a VIP status or a yes for a do not rent, the yes will end up on the final outcome of the merged profile. We have the address, city, state or province, country, zip or postal code, and we have some additional information on the primary language and the phonetic sound of the guest name. Scrolling down, you're going to see that we do have a preview of the selected records. So we have the first and last name of the guest. We have some stay details here for how many reservations they have upcoming, the next upcoming stay, the room type it's booked for, and then on the left-hand side, we have the overview of the final outcome of the guest profile. Again, we do have options here to hover over. We can remove certain values if we don't want to keep them on file. If you've made a mistake, you can also re-add that in as well. And as you see, if we remove that, it'll gray the field out. Adding that back into the system will bring that back into the profile. Once you've confirmed that the details are correct, we're going to go ahead and select Merge on the bottom of the screen. You'll see that the duplicates are merging, and we do have an Undo button at the bottom of the screen. So if I select Undo, you'll see that the guest profile will remain back onto this screen. Again, I also, in addition from view details, I can also merge directly from this screen here and select merge, and you'll see records are merged. Now the undo option will display on the bottom of the screen for approximately 5 seconds. So if you do make a mistake, you do have the option to undo that. So taking a look at the next guest here, you're going to see we have Gary Crespin. The fields for the telephone number, we have hyphens that separate the area code and the 7 digits. Now the second profile we also have without the hyphen. So RoomKey will look specifically for the full telephone number. If you have some that include hyphens or not, you will have duplicates on file. Email address, and you'll also have the mailing address. So you're going to see that with the mailing address, we have Lane spelled L-A-N-E, or the short version, L-N. RoomKey will keep both on file. So if I go to the view detail option and take a look at this a little bit further, I do have options to remove any duplicates and mailing addresses as well. Now, in addition, you're going to see that we have some guest reservation notes or guest notes on file. So we do have a preference for a high floor or a high floor request. All notes will be merged on the final outcome of the profile. So if you do have a repeat note, both will remain on file and will need to access the profile after it's merged to remove any duplicates. So in this example, we have a preference for high floor or a high floor request, both the same type of request, but both will remain on the profile. We're going to go ahead and merge. Now, last profile that we have here is Julie Mosher. Telephone number, email address, and mailing address are exactly the same. Identifying this, we can confirm that these are the same guest profiles, and we might not need to go to the view detail option. We're going to go straight to merge those two profiles. Once you've merged all profiles, you're going to see that we have this image with the checkbox saying great news, there are no more duplicates that are found. Now, if I drop down to the filter and select allow up to 1 misspelling, allow up to 1 misspelling allows a missing or adding an additional character in either the first name, last name, telephone, email, or mailing address fields. You'll see here that we have Russell Wade. We have Russell spelled with 2 L's. We also have Russell spelled with 1 L. Now we have matching telephone numbers, email address, and mailing address as well. Now the telephone is a digit additional in the first one, and the second one has the correct telephone number. So what we can do is when we go to the view detail option, you're going to see here that we do have choose value available from the drop down. Now these values will depend on whether there's a misspelling for the first name or for the last name. We can confirm by looking at the details here that the email address confirms that Russell is spelled with 2 L's. So from the drop down, I can confirm that I'm going to select Russell with the 2 L's in the first one. If I want the final merged outcome to display the second spelling, I can go ahead and select that from this list. I'm going to leave that selected for the first. I'm going to remove the incorrect telephone number, and we're going to merge. Now, in addition, if I drop down and allow up to 2 misspellings, it does take a little bit longer to do a search because it's looking at more information. So here we have Jeannie Stevens spelled with a V, Jeannie Stevens spelled with a PH. We have telephone numbers on file. 1 telephone does match. 2 email addresses are different, but the mailing address is the same. So confirming this here, going to view detail, this is most likely the same guest. So dropping down, we're going to confirm with the email address. Both work and personal email both include the spelling with the PH for Stevens. So from this drop down, I'm actually going to select Stevens here. Now this sounds like for the phonetic, I can go ahead and select the correct spelling. Scrolling down, you'll also see that any guest notes will also appear on file. And I'm going to go ahead and select merge. Now, the more you identify your filters from exact matches only to 1 misspelling or allow up to 2 misspellings, the further you may find that guest profiles are not matches. So in this example here, we have Tess Thompson and Jesse Thomason. We have different mailing addresses, telephone numbers, may be a match, may not be a match, depending on if you have any useful data on the guest profile. But confirming this here, if I go to view detail, you can also dismiss matches. And basically what dismissing a match will do is that if you were to run this search for any profile matching and merging in the future, these two profiles will not be recommended next time. RoomKey will remember that they're not a match and will not make these suggestions again. So you're going to see that at the top of the screen, we do have the option to select not a match, confirming that these are two separate guests based on the address, the name, but you'll see that based on two misspellings, the T and the J are different, the Y is additional, the P is different from the A in Thompson versus Thomason. These are not matches, so I'm going to select not a match. These profiles have been dismissed, and you'll now see that I have no more duplicates that are found. Once you've completed all of the matches and merging, you'll see that we also have an option here on the left-hand side to access the activity log. Accessing the activity log allows you to search based on the last 24 hours, the last 7 days, or again, a custom date range. And basically this will identify anything for today, the time this was completed, the user that made any merges or dismisses, and which profiles were involved. All history in the system for the activity log will remain in the system and will never be removed, so you can always refer to this information. Some key notes to keep in mind is you always want to make sure, in order for the guest profile matching and merging to function correctly, you do want to ensure that Google Chrome is your default internet browser and that you're also on the latest version of RoomKeyPMS. If you need any further assistance, we also do have our help option or our support documentation available here on the links, or you're also welcome to contact our customer support line. Thank you very much for watching.